The best part, taking action, because without action, nothing changes. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Say that again. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So let's go.
So this is one of my personal favorite parts of our process here. So at this point, you've probably come up with your energy barriers. You've gotten really involved and have a much deeper understanding of our 8 controllables. And now you're at the point where you're ready to bring it all together. So what we're going to ask you to do is we're going to share the screen with you here. But what I'm going to ask you to do is pull out that energy barriers, finding your energy barriers worksheet. This is going to be the core basis of how we're going to fill out this taking action worksheet. So you'll see on this taking action worksheet that it's 6 pages long, and there's a page for each one of those energy barriers. First thing I'm going to ask you to do is fill in each one of your barriers here. Now, once you're done with that, come back to the top. So here, this is where we really start to design that action. So there's a couple questions. First is, what core value drives this change? You already have this answer. Same thing here, drop that in. Second question, by overcoming this barrier, how will it help you perform in ownership? So this is going to tie back to, on that barriers worksheet, what are you gaining, right? What are you gaining by changing this? And so think through this and make sure that you really feel connected to that answer. So now here's where we design action. So you have those 8 controllables that we walked you through that will help you design these action steps. So let's take this energy barrier 1 example that we have here. Work quality is low. The core value that drives this change is a strong work ethic and authenticity, right? If we're not showing up with high work quality, we're not showing up with a strong work ethic, and we're not showing up with an authenticity to how we want to be. So by overcoming this, it will give us more confidence, higher willingness to show up authentically. So these 3 action steps we pulled from those energy barriers. Number 1, break, move every 90 minutes during work. That goes to that 8 controllable, to one of those 8 controllables of intentional movement. Number 2, drinking half body weight in ounces every day. That goes back to that hydration. Number 3, executing a 3-2-1 nighttime ritual. This goes back to that sleep. Now, there may be some that aren't necessarily tied to those 8 controllables. Let's look at this one, for example, lack of motivation. So our action steps here are rehearsing positive framing every morning, or talking about gratitude. This goes back to that mindset piece of things. Having my purpose or spiritual energy trigger on my mirror and my computer so that I see it daily. Again, this is something that's not necessarily tied to those 8 controllables, but it's still within the realm of something actionable. Meditating 1 time a day. This could be something that's either mindset or self-care, right? Depends on who you're asking. So that's the first thing that we want you to go through and come up with an action plan. Then you'll see here we have a launch date. So Justin and I are doing everything on May 4th. But for you, scatter these out, right? Make sure that we're doing it in an achievable way, right? It does not have to be the same day. It could be May 4th and then May 10th. Do one this week, do one the following week, do one next month, right? Make sure that we're not stacking everything all at once, but we're doing it in an actionable and timely way. Now, the next thing we want you to think about is boundaries. I had mentioned boundaries earlier on in one of the videos, talking about the importance of them here. So what will you say no to by implementing this change? So here, saying no is a strength, right? I was working with a client the other day, and he said, in order to start to feel more in control of his life, he had to start saying no more. And I asked him, what is one thing you can practice in the next 3 days that you can practice saying no? And he said, you know what? I have 2 birthday parties that I was planning on going to both on Saturday night, and I just don't want to go. I've had a hell of a week, and I just need some R&R. I need some me time. So while I was sitting there on the phone with him, he texted both of them and said, I'm sorry, I will not be able to make it. Not a problem at all. And he felt an immediate energy lift. So what are some of those things that we need to start saying no to, that we need to put boundaries in place for?
So as we look at this, guys, these action steps and these boundaries, we don't have to fill them all up. And they don't need to be something that we're just putting there randomly. There's something that's truly meaningful to you. So as you've gone through the inner and outer energy breakdowns of those 8 controllables, there's going to be certain things that really tie back to your value system. So when you sit here and you say work ethic and positivity is a value to you, but yet you're not willing to rehearse your positive framing every morning, you're literally saying whatever you do in place of that is more valuable to you than your work ethic and positivity. And when we reframe it that way, it's like, that's a core value of mine. It's something I truly care about. It's something I truly hold near and dear to me. And I'm directly going against it. And that's that energy drain. That's that energy suck we continue to talk about. And in energy management, that's where through this taking action plan, it improves that HRV score. Now, we might have an action step on here that actually doesn't improve our HRV score. It doesn't work for us. It's not something that we really relate with. And that's okay. We can change it a week from now, a month from now. And this plan should continue to evolve as you work and as you live with it.
Exactly. So as Justin was saying, you will get a compilation of all these action steps. Now, the very last page here will actually pull exactly what you put in taking action. It will automatically fill here for you. So as you go through and you fill out these first 5 pages, you'll come down and you will have a fully filled out routine. And here's where you get to decide the days of the week that you want to take action, that you want to practice these things. And remember, this is practice, right? We're not going to show up and be perfect with our action plan tomorrow or a week from now or 2 weeks from now or a month from now, right? This is something that takes reflection. So what Justin and I always suggest is pick an hour a week that you can come back and look at your action plan to reflect on it. What worked? What didn't work? What can I be doing differently? Did it help my HRV? Maybe it wasn't working for me. Maybe I need to tweak it, do something slightly different. So for here, plan out your week, right? You had those launch dates. Use those launch dates to plan out your first week. And again, if all of these 15 things are not in your first week, that's okay. In fact, that is actually advised that you don't try to tackle all 15 within that first week. Take your time with these, right? This is a process that we will practice. And there's some space here that you can come back and make adjustments. But again, this is fluid. This is for you to really use as a tool to guide your action step going forward.
Put this somewhere you see it. Make sure it's a part of your routine and build it in and know that it's yours. It's something you put together, something that is rooted in science, rooted in your core values, and ultimately something that will create energy transformation within you.
We'll see you in the next video. Go on it.